The old gods have arrived and they've attempted to take over the planet Earth by drowning it with a liquid that turns people into fish monsters. The Justice League is quickly losing against them, but don't worry. Aquaman and Wonder Woman will be taking care of the problem. This is part 2 to the Aquaman Justice League Drowned Earth crossover event. And if you want to know where we started, I'll put the first video in the links down below. If you're wondering where you are, this is Comicstorian, where we take some of your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. We then read them dramatically back to you. You know what? There's not much more to say. Let's just get into part 2 of Drowned Earth. On the Blood Reef, Aquaman is being made to walk the plank. Below lies the Charabo vortex, a black hole in the universe's great whirlpool. Everything is ripped apart in its tides, and the ocean lords stand at his back. Long ago, they walked this plank as well, and they spent eons in the graveyard of the gods before finally breaking free. Aquaman's eyes are downcast, stripped of his power. He's already been broken. It doesn't have to be this way, he pleads, but oh, it does. You've taken my power. But Aquaman isn't done yet, and he turns on his captors, leaping against Gaul. But I live with Batman, and I've learned a few tricks. Using his enemy's blade, he severs his chains. Striking out, he gathers a weapon, rushing into combat. He swings the blade against Tide, but he's stayed by Drogue's hand, stopping the blade as if it were nothing. With a simple gesture, the god throws Aquaman into the void. But instead of being ripped apart, he is saved, landing on the small ship that Wonder Woman pilots. Get up and sail. We need to get back to Earth, she orders, but no. Aquaman pleads with her. They have to go to the graveyard of the gods. Diana, please. God help us. So be it, she yells as she smashes the key into the deck. But I fear we are charting a course for nowhere. Mera, Superman, and Flash have now arrived at the Atacama Desert, the driest place on Earth. They are searching for Orion's tomb. It's hidden in that desert where no one can find it. Before their eyes, Flash begins to mutate, his jaw shifting into some sort of fin. Using his speed, he is holding off the infection, but he doesn't know how long he can do it. As his powers begin to return under the sun, Superman believes that he can see the tomb, so Flash runs, uncovering the long hidden structure. Meanwhile, Arthur and Diana are sailing across the hidden rivers of the cosmos, charting a course for the graveyard of the gods. Beneath their hull, the stars transform into water once more, and before them lies a strange palace made of bone. They have arrived. Back in Orion's tomb, Superman pushes inside the entrance. They are looking for the Tear of Extinction, the weapon that will allow them to defeat the Ocean Lords. Mera is shocked. The tomb, it's desecrated and the tear is missing. Suddenly a voice speaks out of the darkness. Black Manta, and in his hand he holds the tear. The only weapon that might save the Earth. Mera rushes towards the villain, her sword raised in her hand, and Drogue is at Manta's back as the tomb begins to fill with floodwaters. In the graveyard of the gods, Aquaman and Wonder Woman have managed to escape the guardian of this place, but they now come face to face with the decrepit remains of Poseidon. He's been locked here, never to escape. Aquaman informs the dead god of the situation, begging him to return his powers and show them how to defeat the Ocean Lords. Arthur Curry, if you think I am your savior, then you are already dead. And with these words, Poseidon thrusts his trident into Aquaman's chest. Meanwhile, the Hall of Justice's walls cannot withstand the force against it. Inside, Batman is calling out to any member of the Justice League. Can you hear me? But Jarro cannot sense anyone. Are they okay? The small creature asks, fear in its voice, and Batman tells the little starfish, it'll be all right, we're gonna win. He picks up Jarro's container, and they begin to evacuate. From behind, a blast of energy destroys Batman's chair, and over him stands the Legion of Doom. Meanwhile, Mera, Superman, and Flash are trying to withstand the might of the Flood and the mutated creatures of Earth. They continue to battle, holding back to the end, but Flash begins to mutate farther, his mind now calling out to Black Manta's new powers. And back at the Hall of Justice, Batman has managed to escape, slipping into the trophy room. Lex Luthor stands over the totality, a piece of the source wall, the power of creation at his fingertips. In the trophy room, Batman attacks clad in the old Luthor armor, his fists punching through a wall, sending Gorilla Grodd flying. Visiting hours are over, but I think there's an exhibit or two that I can show you. I do love this part! The Joker laughs, and the rest of the Legion prepare to attack. Meanwhile, back in the graveyard of the gods, Diana has leapt to the aid of Arthur, her fists impacting against Poseidon. But the god shrugs her off easily, allowing Arthur to return, his wounds seemingly healing. Arthur doesn't understand. Poseidon was only trying to use his trident to imbue him with the power of life, but his strength has waned. He stood alongside the hero Orion eons ago and fought against these beings, so why not help now? So Poseidon tells him the truth. When the gods known as the Ocean Lords came to the Earth before, it wasn't as invaders. Orion wanted to share the life force of the oceans with the others, so he sent out the call to the stars. When the others arrived, Poseidon did not trust them, nor want to share his power. He tricked Orion, convincing him that the Ocean Lords were evil. Together, the two locked them away in the graveyard of the gods until they escaped and became the evil beings that they are now. What was happening on Earth was Poseidon's fault. There must be something we can do, some way to make them see the light. But Poseidon knows what the graveyard can do to a god. They cannot be saved, they must be destroyed. Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice, Lex has the totality, when suddenly the wall explodes with the force of Sinestro and Grodd's bodies. As they fall to the ground, Batman stands there, Joker's throat locked in his fist. "Step away from the totality," he orders, and Joker waves. But Lex now has the power of the totality in his hands, and he simply teleports the Legion of Doom away, leaving Batman stunned. Mera, Superman, and Flash continue their fight, yet it is a losing battle and they know it. Suddenly, Mera realizes that the energy from the Tear of Extinction still lies within the bones of Orion. Using her magic, she forms a blade from the tears. Drogue screams, calling out to his Kraken to destroy her! But it is too late as Mera swings her new weapon. The creature dies with one blow, forcing the floodwaters to retreat. She moves quickly, blade piercing Drogue next. Yet he is strong, and with a wounded cry, he throws her away. "They have the power to destroy us! We must retreat!" Black Manta protests, but it doesn't matter, the villains are gone. The heroes of Earth now have a weapon to use in this war against the drowned. Back at the graveyard of the gods, though, Poseidon could feel the dark realm beginning to crumble. "We are not dead yet. There's still time to make this right, Poseidon." Poseidon stares at the former king. "Perhaps there is a way." The three begin to head towards Wonder Woman's boat, with Poseidon handing his trident over to Aquaman. "Use it as a weapon, as Orion did eons ago. Fuel it with the Tear of Extinction. Make it rich with death." Arthur and Diana have no chance of escaping the realm without Poseidon's help. So with the last of his power, he pushes their craft from the crumbling world. Back on the Blood Reef, the Ocean Lords sense Aquaman and Wonder Woman's escape. Now the heroes of Earth have weapons that can defeat them. They have no choice. "Release the Death Kraken!" Black Manta calls out. Still trapped in the tomb of Orion, Mera, Superman, and Flash continue to fight their way out. His powers returning, Superman is still wearing the super simple eye patch, so he only uses one eye for heat vision. It looks cool, so no one says anything. Despite the fact that they killed the Flood Kraken, though, the infectious waters still surround them. When suddenly they are saved, as above them floats Wonder Woman's ship. "Ahoy!" greets Aquaman. Mera and Arthur reunite, embracing in a lover's kiss, and the team sets sail for the Ocean Lords. Flash is Superman dressed as pirates to protect them from the infectious waters because, why not? Everything's gonna be okay now. Arthur knows how to stop the Ocean Lords. Using Poseidon's trident fused with the Tears of Extinction in Mera's sword, they have a weapon that can destroy them, but he doesn't want to do that. Knowing what happened in the past, Arthur believes that they can end this peacefully. The rest of the team are not quite so sure. To get past their barrier, there is only one way that they can do it. Launch the ships that Orion has hidden within Atlantis, destroying the city once and for all. Arthur believes that it is the only way. They have to destroy Atlantis. The team agrees on the plan when suddenly above them the sky split open, and from the depths of another realm emerges the Death Kraken, its massive tentacles reaching forth into our world. Commander Drogue, if they make it through the barrier, you may set the beast upon them, Tide calls out. Diana will launch the city towers. Aquaman, Mera, Superman, and Flash will hold back the Kraken. Wonder Woman dives, and the rest set sail for battle, fighting to hold the world against the tide. In the depths of Atlantis, Diana tries to unlock the towers, but is assaulted by Cheetah. The two begin to lock into battle, with Diana knocking her enemy away, quickly trying to continue with the lock. A claw slashes at her back, though, and blood is drawn. Cheetah roars, the Legion has won. Nothing can save them now, when suddenly, a blast saves them by throwing Cheetah away. And standing before them is our broken Batman. Sorry, was she talking? Batman had programmed the teleporters to take him to the League's leader. With Jean off-world, that's Diana. The two then launch the city towers. Aquaman tries again to call out to the gods, pleading with them to stop this, to end things peacefully. They hear his words, yet they ignore them. Beneath them, the waters begin to churn, and breaking the surface, the towers begin to launch. Batman to the Justice League. The towers of Atlantis are making their ascent. You may want to move. Batman orders, and he also wonders if Wonder Woman has any way to steer them. Clinging to the ship, Diana calls out to her friend over the roars of the engine. I'm riding a 4,000-year-old spaceship, Batman. It's safe to say that I'm winging it. The heroes watch below as the ships launch forward, ripping through the barriers of the Ocean Lord's ships. Now is their chance as Aquaman and Mera ride forward to face the gods, while the rest of the League hold back the Kraken. Luthor to Manta. The tide is turning in the favor of the Justice League. Finish what we set out to do and I'll teleport you out. But Manta has tasted true power now and he no longer needs Luthor or the League. Mera and Aquaman grow closer to the Ocean Lords, with Mera calling out for Arthur to finish off their enemy. Yet Arthur still believes that there is a better way. He refuses to kill unless he has to. The Kraken's massive tentacle crashes down on their small ship, smashing it to kindling. But Flash is there still holding onto himself, his body mutated, his words little more than gibberish. The Flash deposits both Mera and Arthur on the enemy ship, speeding away to continue the battle. Shaking Mera back to consciousness, she now realizes the tear of extinction has changed her, shifting her heart to the black of death. Arthur is right, there is another way. He has to tap into his power, changing the tear back to a weapon of life. He is connected to all life. He could do this. Mera believes in him. And with that, it's worked. The shell that held the tear of extinction now hums with the force of life. Arthur hands it back to Mera, surprising her, because long ago, the monarch of Atlantis called out to the universe. I'm not the monarch. I can't play that role anymore, but you can. See the world as it should be, he tells her. So she places the shell to her head, and despite the death, the destruction around them, the Kraken's massive tentacles reaching out and grasping, Mera sends out a signal to all of the universe, to all that would hear it. Unknown in countless worlds see her vision, a life connected through the sharing of knowledge, of good faith. Above them, the Ocean Lords hear this message as well. Drogue, leash the Kraken! Tide orders. She is ready for a trick, for some act of aggression. And Arthur arrives with Mera, but they are not here to fight. Kneeling before these old gods, his hands offering the trident of Poseidon. You would give us this trident when we claimed your seas, your people? Tide questions. Arthur would, for the past mistakes of his people. This was the fate of the trident all along, for the original vision that was sent forth by Orion. The Ocean Lords stop, for maybe it is time for a parley, to end the bloodshed. But from behind, the blades of Black Manta find their way into Commander Drogue's spine. Blades that are coated with the tears of extinction. Drogue perishes before their eyes. And retrieving the bone crown that Drogue used to control the Kraken, Manta reveals his plot. Say hi to Earth's new sea god. Steel flies through the air as his blade finds its mark in Captain Gull's chest, and another god falls. But before Tide can meet her own end, Arthur manages to block the blade with his hand. The Tide is still wounded. Manta stands victorious, the words of Lex Luthor ringing in his ears. The oceans are not the League's concern. But Manta doesn't care. He has everything now, and as she lays bleeding, Tide takes the powers back from Black Manta, returning them to Arthur. It matters not, though. So what? Go ahead and talk to Fish. Arthur, what good is it to you now? He gloats. But suddenly Arthur appears with the entire might of the Fish mutated League behind him. Well, when every hero on Earth is a fish, plenty. He orders the other heroes to stop the Kraken. What about Manta? Questions Mera. Manta is mine. Trident and blade meet. The two titans locking blows as the battle for the very future of the planet comes down to these two men. The Kraken will not listen to Manta. He is but a man. And finally, Arthur gets the upper hand, twisting Manta's arm, defeating him. Arthur, the Kraken is too powerful. It's going to reach the ocean. Mera is panicked, for once the creature reaches the waters, all life on Earth will end. Staring up at the massive creature, Arthur knows what must be done. Not on my watch! He adjusts the ship's course, steering for the massive jaws of the Death Kraken. Arthur carries the life force in him. The chain reaction of hitting the Death Kraken will kill it. He can hear Mera's pleas. He can't do this. He'll die. You call me your queen, will I command you? Come back! Do not do this! She watches as the ship draws nearer to the end. The creature filling Arthur's vision. My heart, I wish you fair winds and following seas. Always, I will see you again, Mera. In his last moments, the memories of sailing with his father fill his vision, and he is gone. 3 days have passed since the end of our conflict and the supposed death of Aquaman. The waters have receded, and the people of Earth have returned to normal. Vague memories of what happened are all that remain. They know the heroes of Earth saved them, and that's enough. But meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice, a statue of Aquaman has been erected in dedication of our fallen hero. But not everyone believes that he is truly gone. Because somewhere, unknown, Arthur Curry washes ashore. There you have it, Aquaman and Justice League Drowned Earth Part 2. Where is Aquaman? What is going to happen to the Justice League? Well, if you want those answers, please consider subscribing to our channel to get more comic books read dramatically back to you. If you stick around, we're going to be doing more Justice League very soon. We were waiting for this episode to come out before we did more of it. And if you want more Aquaman, well, I need to know in the comments down below. Betty, I've learned that I love Aquaman because Jason Momoa made him a sexy beast. Put that in the comments down below, please. I just want to see all you saying that. And if you do, we'll do more Aquaman.